True financial clarity comes the moment you stop attempting to manipulate reality.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.
We are enthused to welcome you to episode 747, segment C, where we get to share not only how to sell, buy, and invest in real estate over the last 37 years, but really how to build your finances, build your faith, build your fitness, and even strengthen, heal, and flourish inside relationship. 37 years.
That's a long time we've been doing this, baby.
And this show for 15.
Yeah.
Like insane and beautiful. So here, the bottom line is this. It is so easy to delude ourselves and fight for what we already know to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Like what we want to be true, because it's more comfortable, as we talked about in segment B, to stay with what makes us feel good.
Yeah.
Rather than actually interrogate reality. Like look at reality truthfully. What are the numbers saying?
Yeah, I know that I personally have a struggle with, I'm looking for information to prove that my thinking is correct and accurate and right, as opposed to having the viewpoint of, where can I find information that's going to alter my thinking?
Or open your thinking.
Or open it or improve it. And if it just ends up proving that my thinking was correct, that's awesome.
Beautiful.
But if I don't, if I just look for people that are going to agree with me when I ask questions, then I'm not growing and I'm not getting any more wise.
Well, you're setting yourself back financially.
Could be.
You're like, if you're attempting to manipulate reality by not looking at the true numbers, by not getting the real facts, and only tunnel vision on the things that, as you said, affirm what you already believe to be true, you are hurting yourself.
Yeah. So in real estate, what are my steps? What am I looking at doing that's going to break through that ceiling of comfort, where I want, and bring me into clarity of purpose and decision making?
Right. So the one thing for sure is get real numbers. Don't just guess.
Where do I get real numbers?
You can get them from us.
Okay.
We'll give you real numbers.
On the property values.
On property values, whether you're selling or you're buying, these conversations are reasonably universal, right? What are the real numbers rather than the ones that you want to be true?
Sure.
Right?
And
what are the real carrying costs rather than what you want to be true? Even something so simple as how warm you keep your house. I like my house at 23 or a little higher when I'm cold. And that's a huge contrast in terms of heating bill to somebody that keeps it at 20 and is very comfortable. So even just those little things, because they accumulate. What we sometimes avoid is the accumulation effect, not realizing what each little tiny decision like that means. So getting real numbers. And
real numbers for my financial situation as well, right? Like through the mortgage broker. So real numbers about the house, real numbers about my financial situation.
Right. And not, we do not want to be over optimistic. We also don't want to be overly negative. We just helped a beautiful young couple buy a home, and they can quite easily make the payments, but one of them started to really get fearful because it was a larger mortgage because she didn't have one. So going from nothing to something, it wouldn't have mattered if it was, next to nothing. It was still just overwhelmingly scary, right? After they decided, yes, it was the one. So we spent several hours with them, talk through the real numbers, the pros and the cons, and should they wait, zero pressure, but let them walk away and spend another 4 or 5 days deciding between themselves what was really the stumbling block. It wasn't that it was a little bit more than their second choice.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where, so the whole number became the fear, not the contrast. Right? So looking at the big picture and having those, what they did that was beautiful is as soon as they started feeling that trepidation, we had the hard conversations. We put it all out on the table. So step 2 is have those hard conversations as early as you know that they're there, because there was no pressure on them to make a fast decision.
Mm-hmm.
If they had delayed making that phone call, they would have had pressure, unnecessary pressure. And then that hard decision would have felt impossible. And then I think the third thing is, so often, which is where they were headed, they were making the decision out of fear, not out of facts.
Yeah. And they also, one party was comfortable, the other one was not comfortable.
Right.
And so there needed to be alignment created before they could go ahead as well.
Oh, perfect. That's absolutely true. If there's not alignment within the couple, your indecision's probably a good choice unless you can see the writing on the wall and the bank's about to come get the house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sometimes drastic situations require drastic decisions.
Sometimes somebody taking the lead.
Yeah.
Who's the strongest in that case?
Yeah, in
right?
that case, because each situation is different. So you're thinking, well, you haven't described my situation yet. Well, here's what I'm telling you. Go to dekkerteam.com, book a clarity call, and we'll walk through your specific situation, because that is actually one of the financial missteps that a lot of people take. Is they hear general information. They may listen to an investment show from the States. They may listen to us about a specific scenario. And if it's taken out of context for them, it actually does more harm than good. So get specific, not general, right? Even AI can give you lots of general data. We've got some people that are petrified about taxation on principal residences. Like there's all kinds of sensationalized news out there that isn't real, and it's still scary. So get real information and then somehow remove yourself from that hype.
Yeah. And you know how you do that, Yetta? You take small actions that create momentum. And a small action could be like what you said, book a clarity call with us. Very small action will start you moving, and it will create momentum that creates confidence. For buyers, it might be getting pre-approved, right? That's what that step looks like. Actually exploring their options, what their money can actually buy. For sellers, it might be getting pricing strategy instead of emotionally saying, I think my house is this. The neighbor down there had their house listed for that, but they don't know exactly what it sold for.
Or that it never did.
Or that it never sold. And, get some clarity in worst case scenarios. We don't get pie in the sky when people are trying to make financial decisions, right?
You're better to be a little pessimistic on pricing than overly optimistic. We'd rather have a silver lining at the end, not a black storm cloud.
Yeah. So clarity is specific. It's not general. And when you know your numbers, it replaces the noise. And when you know your carrying costs, your break-even timelines, your exit strategies, all these things create confidence, right?
Not confusion. So ultimately, if your current thinking got you here, it is probable that it's not going to get you where you want to go next. So let's connect.
And we're glad that you joined us on Life's Inside Track, because when we move forward together, we've got this.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.